So guys, let's continue our discussion. Till now I have uploaded 8 videos, and in my previous video we were discussed till post-modern period. In post-modern period we were discussed three dynasties, that is Sungas, Kanvas and Satavahanas. Okay, so after the decline of Sungas, the second largest empire that was ruled in India started, that was known as Gupta Empire. So in this video we will thoroughly know about Gupta Empire. Okay, let's quickly know about sources of Gupta. Three major sources were found, that is literary, inscriptions and coins. Okay, let's quickly know about literary sources. As we discussed in Mauryan and post-Mauryan period, uh, the Puranas also gives the details of Gupta. Okay, then second literary source was Vishaka Datta's two major books, that is Devi Chandra Guptam and Mudra Raksasa. We will discuss in depth details later in this chapter only. Okay. Then third literary source was Fahin's book. Fahin was a Chinese Buddhist monk. Okay, during Gupta period, he visited to India for collecting the manuscripts of Buddha and also to visit the sacred places of Buddha. Okay, we will study further about him. Okay, then second source was inscriptions. Okay, two major inscriptions were found regarding Gupta period, that is Mehroli iron pillar inscription. It is in Delhi. Kindly remember, very very important guys. Okay, it explains about achievements of Chandragupta II. We will study further about Chandragupta II later. Okay, then second one is Allahabad pillar inscriptions. This Allahabad pillar belongs to Ashoka, King Ashoka, that is Mauryan Emperor King Ashoka. It is one of the pillar edict of Ashoka. Then it explains about achievements of Samudragupta. We will study further about Samudragupta later. Okay, this inscription was written by the famous poet during Samudragupta period, that is Arisena. Okay, it is in classical Sanskrit language. Kindly remember. Okay, third source was coins. Okay, during Gupta period they issued three coins, that is gold, silver and copper. These coins were also explains about the king. Okay, the kings. Okay, let's quickly know about the important rulers during Gupta period. The founder of Gupta empire was Sri Gupta and successor was Ghatotkach. We don't have many information about them, so just remember the names only. Okay, then let's quickly know about the great rulers during Gupta period. That is first one is Chandragupta one. Okay, he was also called as Maharajadiraja. Okay, kindly remember. Okay, he extended his territories through matrimonial alliances, just like Magadha Empire were doing, right? Just like that, he was also extended his territories through matrimonial alliances. Okay, then another famous ruler during Gupta period was Samudragupta. He was succeeded Chandragupta one. Okay, his achievements were described in Allahabad pillar inscription. It is in Uttar Pradesh, as I said earlier. This inscription was written by poet Arisena. Kindly remember. Okay, then he expanded his territories more than Chandragupta one. Okay, he defeated the Naga rulers. During that period, Naga rulers were ruling on the upper Gangetic plain. Okay, that King Achyuta was the was ruling at that period. So he defeated him and annexed that territory. Okay, in south he defeated 12 rulers, but he did not annex their territories. Okay, in north itself, if he fought against 9 kings and also annexed their territories. Okay, then his territories were Uttar Pradesh, central India, southwestern part of Bengal, then some parts of Deccan, but he did not annex the south kingdoms, so that south kings were respected him. Okay, he was a great patron of art and literature. Okay, so he was also known as Kaviraja. Okay, kindly remember, he composed many verses and musics. Okay, he patronized Vaishnavism, which means he was a follower of or devotee of Vishnu, and also he respected all religion. We can say that he was tolerant to all religion. Okay, kindly remember. Let's quickly know about another famous or great ruler, that is Chandragupta II. Okay, he was also called as Vikramaditya. Okay, he extended his territories through matrimonial alliances and also military conquest. Okay, kindly remember. Then his achievements were described in Mehroli iron pillar inscriptions. It is in Delhi. Okay, kindly remember. It is very very important. Okay, he fought war against Sakas. Sakas were foreign kingdom that were ruling during post-Mauryan period. He fought against them also. Then he defeated them. Okay, he annexed Bactrians from Kushanas during post-Mauryan period. They were that Bactrians were part of Kushanas, so he annexed these Bactrians from Kushanas. Okay, he was a great ruler, we can say that. Okay, his territories were included in western part. It extended from western Malwa, Gujarat, Kathiawar. Okay, in eastern it extended up to eastern Bengal. Okay, in north it extended behind Hindu Kush region. Okay, in south it extended up to Narmada river. Kindly refer the map for understanding the places. Okay, then he controlled trade with western countries. Okay, so during this period Ujjain, it is in Madhya Pradesh, okay, became important city and it was a capital city during this period. Okay, so it traded with western parts. Okay, some of the goods that were traded were cotton cloths from Bengal, indigo from Bihar, silk from Benares, then sent from Himalaya, sandal and spices from south. Okay, these were traded during this period. Okay, so more gold coins were, for trade purpose they were using more gold coins. So during that period more gold coins were issued. So western traders poured more Roman golds into India. So this period was known as golden age. Okay, please remember. So during this Chandragupta II period, Kalidasa was a famous poet and writer. Okay, kindly remember. During Chandragupta period, Fahin, as I said, Fahin is also known as Foxian. Kindly remember, he was a Chinese Buddhist monk visited to India. Okay, for collecting the manuscript of Buddha and also to visit sacred places of Buddha. Okay, he stayed in Pataliputra for around 9 years. Okay, and studied Sanskrit and also copied Buddhist text. Okay, in his book he referred that Gangetic Valley was dominated by Brahmanism. Okay, and also he said that economic condition during Gupta period was very prosperous. Okay, can you remember? Okay, then let's quickly know about the successor of Chandragupta Maurya, that is Kumaragupta. Okay, he was a son of Chandragupta Maurya, sorry, Chandragupta II. Okay, he laid foundation for Nalanda University. Very very important. Kumaragupta laid foundation for Nalanda University. Nalanda University is an ancient or oldest university in India. It means we can say that Takshila University in Punjab province of Pakistan was the first university in the world. First, but that Nalanda University was the second oldest university. But in Indian perspective, it is the first university. Okay, first ancient university, Nalanda University. It is in Bihar. Kindly remember. Okay, then that successor of Kumaragupta was Skandagupta. Okay, let's know about Skandagupta. During this period, during Skandagupta period, Una's kingdom, that is this is they are from Central Asia. They are the foreign kingdom. Okay, we can say that foreign kingdom, Una's kingdom entered into India, but this Skandagupta defeated them. But later his successors were not able to fought against this Unas. Okay, so this Gupta empire declined. Okay, just remember, Unas is very very important, guys. Here, please remember. Let's quickly know about administration during Gupta period. During Gupta period, king was assisted by chief minister, Senamati also known as chief of commander, and other officials. Okay, just like Mauryan empire. Okay, then higher official was called as Sandhi Vigraha. Okay, Sandhi Vigraha means foreign ministry of foreign affairs. Very very important. Please remember. King was assisted by for administration of provinces. King was assisted by officials such as Kumarya Matsyas and Ayuktas. Very very important keyword, guys. Kindly remember. Kumarya Matsyas and Ayuktas were assisting king for provincial administration. Ayuktas means civil servant, as I explained in Mauryan Empire. Okay. Then provinces were called as Bhuktis. Okay, Bhuktis means provinces during Gupta period. Their governors were called as Uparikas. Very very important. Bhuktis were subdivided into Vishyas. Vishyas means district. Okay, these Vishyas were governed by Vishyaspatis. Very very important keyword. Please remember. Then city administration was in control of Nagara Shrestris. Very very important. Please remember. Then the village in districts were in control of Gramikas. Please remember these keywords. Very very important for prelims perspective. Okay. Then quickly know about social life during Gupta period. During Gupta period, the caste system become more rigid, just like later Vedic period. Okay. Here Brahmanism become more dominated. Okay, so untouchability had slowly started, and in this period, situation of women in upper two varnas, that is Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, were become very strict. Okay, they were very strict, but the the other two lower varnas were there, right? That women in that other two lower varna were allowed to earn their livelihood. Okay, during Gupta period, women were prohibited for studying religious texts like Puranas. Okay, kindly remember. In this period, early marriage for girls were common, and during the Gupta period, women received shares in their parental properties. Okay, kindly remember. Okay, let's quickly know about religion during Gupta period. During Gupta period, all rulers showed tolerance towards all religion. Okay, here Vaishnavism or Bhagavatism, we can say that they were worshipping Vishnu. Okay, Vaishnavism or Bhagavatism became dominated as compared to Buddhism. We can say that during Gupta period, this Buddhism started to decline. The reason for that is or was the reason for decline of Buddhism during Gupta period was they considered Buddha as an incarnation of Vishnu. Very very important sentence, guys. Please remember, UPSC usually asks this kind of questions only. Okay, then they also constructed some stupas and viharas that relates that to Buddhism. We can say that they tolerance to all religion. Okay, they celebrated religious festivals also. Okay, let's quickly know about trade and agriculture during Mauryan period. Uh, as I said earlier, they were issued more gold coins for foreign trade. These gold coins were called as dinaras. Very very important keyword here. Okay, please remember. Then they were also issued silver coins. एक minute. They were also issued silver coins for local exchange that was called as Rupaka. Very very important, guys. Kindly remember. Rupakas means silver coins issued by Gupta period during Gupta period for local exchange. Okay, they also issued less number of copper coins. Okay, then during that period, priestly landed was dominated. Okay, priestly landed means land was given to priest. Priest means Brahmins. Okay, then they were used ports for foreign trade. The four major ports during Gupta period was Brok port in Gujarat, Kalyan port in Maharashtra, Cambay port in it is also in Gujarat, then Tambralifti port in West Bengal. Kindly remember this. This sentence is very very important, guys. I am saying seriously. This Tambralifti port was used for conducting North Indian trade. Very very important. Kindly remember. Okay. Let's quickly know about literature during Gupta period. During Gupta period, they were used classical Sanskrit, classical Sanskrit for writing any Sanskrit plays. Okay, Nagari script was used during that period. Okay, two types of scripts are there, that is Dravidian script and Nagari script. Among them, they used Nagari script. Okay, Arisena was poet during Samudragupta, as I said earlier, and also Kalidasa was famous writer poet during Chandragupta II period. Okay, two great epics, that is Ramayana, Mahabharata, completed during this period, and also Puranas were also given final touch during this period. Okay, let's quickly know about some Sanskrit plays book during this period. This is very very important, guys. For prelims perspective, it is very very important. Kindly remember the names of book and author of those books. First one is writer Sudraka wrote famous book, that is Mricha Katika book. Very very important. Here the theme of that book is very very important for prelims perspective. Usually UPSC ask the themes of that book and author of that book and name of the book. These three criteria are very very important. Kindly remember the theme of that Mricha Katika book was love affairs of rich merchant with the daughter of courtesan. Okay, kindly remember this theme. Okay, then second one is Vishaka Datta. Vishaka Datta's two books are there, that is Mudra Rakshasa and Devi Chandraguptam. Kindly remember that Mudra Rakshasa, that was drama book. It deals with Chandragupta Maurya came to throne, how Chandragupta Maurya came to throne, and also regarding rise of Gupta Empire. Okay, and also as I described in this one Mauryan Empire chapter, it also deals with the dethrone of Nandas by Mauryans. Okay, kindly remember. Then this Devi Chandra Guptam book describes story of Gupta king, that is Rama Gupta. Kindly remember. Okay. Then third one is Vatsyayana. That writer Vatsyayana, he was an author of Kama Sutra book. Okay. Then fourth one is writer Subandhu. He was an author of Vasava Datta book. Okay. Then fifth one is Vishnu Sharma. Vishnu Sharma was an author of Panchatantra story. Okay. Sixth one is Bharavi. Bharavi is an author of Kitarjunia book. Okay. Kindly remember the name. It is a story book of conflict between Arjuna and Shiva. Kindly remember the theme here. Okay. Then seventh poet and writer, famous poet and writer during Chandragupta II period was Kalidasa. He is very very important, guys. He wrote six Sanskrit play books. That is first one is Abhijana Shakuntalam. Very very important. Its theme was love story of Dushyanta and Shakuntala. Okay. Second one is Malvika Agnimitra. Okay. It describes love story of Agnimitra. Agnimitra was the son of founder of Sunga dynasty, that is Pushyamitra Sunga, and okay, it describes the love story between Agnimitra and Malvika. Malvika was the female maid during that Agnimitra period. Okay. Then these four another four books are there. Just remember the names here. That is Raghuvamsha, Kumara Sambhava, Meghaduta, and Vikramorvasi. Kindly remember the names, guys. Very very important. Okay, let's know about the features of this Sanskrit plays book during Gupta period. These all books, Sanskrit plays, were comedies. Okay, this second one is very very important, guys. Please remember the character in this place of higher and lower classes do not speak same language. Okay, we can say that higher classes featuring in this play used Sanskrit language, and women and Shudra used Prakrit language. Very very important, please remember. Then let's quickly know about science and medicine during Gupta period. During Gupta period, that mathematicians, astrologers were exist. The famous mathematician and astrologer was Aryabhata. As we know that he invented the number 0. Okay, Aryabhata. He born in Pataliputra in Bihar. Okay, let's know about him. Aryabhatta was a great mathematician and astronomer during Gupta period. Okay, his book Aryabhatta deals with maths and astronomy. Okay, kindly remember the name of the book. Okay, he was the first to declare Earth is sphere and is rotating in its own axis. Kindly remember. Okay, then second astronomer was Varha Mihira. Okay, kindly remember the name. Okay, he composed Pancha Siddhantika, which deals with five astronomical system. Okay, he written two books also, that is Brihad Samhita and Brihad Jataka. Brihad Jataka deals only with astrology, whereas Brihad Samhita deals with astronomy, astrology, marriage, architecture, weather. Okay, kindly remember. Okay, let's quickly know about the medicine during Gupta period. During Gupta period, three scholars found that relates to medicine. That is, that famous three scholars were Charaka, Sushruta, and Vagbhata. Very very important. These three famous scholars were very important. Vagbhata was an author of Ashtanga Samgraha. Very very important. Please remember, guys. Okay, let us know about arts during Gupta period. During Gupta period, both Nagara and Dravidian styles of arts found. Okay, no, there is no influence of Gandhara style here. Okay, let's know about some important arts during that Gupta period. Okay, that important temple at Diogar village near Jhansi in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, that belongs to Gupta. Then second one is sculpture in temple at Gaharwal near Allahabad. It is also in UP. Okay. Then standing Buddha statue at Mathura in Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Then Buddha statue at Sarnath. It is in UP. Okay. Then Bitari monolithic pillar of Skanda Gupta. Okay. Kindly remember. Okay. These were the some of the arts and architectures of Gupta period. Okay, then let's know about the paintings of Gupta period. Three paintings were found related to Gupta, that is paintings at Bagh caves near Gwalior in Uttar Pradesh, sorry, in Madhya Pradesh. It is in Madhya Pradesh, Gwalior. Okay, and then second one is mural painting in Ajanta. It is in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, it explains life of Buddha as illustrated in Jataka stories. This painting explains about life of Buddha, that is illustrated in Jataka stories. Then third one is paintings at Sigiriya in Sri Lanka. Okay, it was highly influenced by Ajanta style. Okay, this much is sufficient, guys. Kindly revise and glance it once again. Okay, so I'm stopping here. In my next video we will discuss the last kingdom of North India during ancient history, that is Harshavardhana. Okay, that we will discuss in the next video. So kindly share with your friends and tell them to subscribe to my channel for further updates. Okay, thank you.